Hello, everybody. How are you doing this morning? Good. Good. All right, so I'll be quick because I know that we are fashionably late. My name is Rosa, and I lead the strategy in the Accenture Metaverse Continuum Business Group for Europe and Asia Pacific. Now it's growth markets. Sorry about that. And I have a book that is coming out on the 27th of October, if this clicker is going to work. The clicker doesn't work. Hello? The clicker doesn't work. Guys, just push next. It's fine. You can be my clicker. All right, so this is the book. There's a QR code for the pre-order if you want. It's been written by me along with a bunch of people that are way smarter than me, including Fadi Shaimi, that you're going to see in a bit. And he's going to do a double click on all the topic that we're going to cover here. And I had the forewords written by Professor Tom Furness, which is the guy that invented virtual reality, basically. And yeah, I've been still blown away by the fact that this guy decided to write the forewords for me. But yes, it's going to be available on the 27th of October. Next slide, please. Right, so understanding the metaverse. We live in a new landscape. We live in the Twitterverse, we live in the WhatsAppverse, we live in the Zoomverse, the Teamverse. We shop online, and it's impossible to find a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X on the shelves. When we go back home, the things that we do is to fire up Netflix or Disney Plus and watch videos in streaming. We order our groceries online. And one of the interesting things, which came up during one of the conversations with one of my clients in Thailand, they told me that before the pandemic, something like 90% of the transactions were made using fiat currency. Only 10% were made using credit cards and digital currency. Now, after the pandemic, this percentage is reversed. So you can imagine even enabling a lot of people in doing purchases online is driving the economy and is propelling the economy in a more digital way. Next slide, please. Perfect. Oops. I think that now works. It works. Fantastic. So, thank you so much. So, we live in the new era that is the evolution of the internet as we know it. In the 90s, we had what we call the Internet of Data. Internet was more or less, no more no less than a brochure. The website were no more no less than glorified brochures with images of products. The most interactive things that you can buy, you can see, on those websites was an email address that you could click and you could send an email to, and that's it. Then something magical started happening in the 2000s, something that is called emergence. So the internet became, from the internet of data, the internet of people. The first use case emerged, which is one of the use cases that is way more successful than the others, so emerges. And other companies started copying that use case. Probably some of you remember Friendster. Probably more of you will remember MySpace. Probably all of you remember Facebook, and then Twitter, and then LinkedIn, and then Instagram, and all the other social network, TikTok, all the other social network that came after that. So the internet of people, we started connecting with each other and using internet to interact with our peers. Then in 2007, and for all the next decade, we all became cyborg. We started wearing smartphones in our pockets. Our life was enriched by those smartphones, and we do not leave our home if we don't have those smartphones in our pocket, okay? And we are connected to our cars, we are connected to our televisions, we are connected to our smart homes, and so on. So that era is something that we call the Internet of Things. So we all interconnected not only with each other, but also with our appliances, with our smart lights, our smart bulbs, and so on. And then something happened in the pandemic. After 2020, younger generations, Gen Z, Gen Y, started using platforms that have always been used for gaming in order to socialize because they were in lockdown. They could not go out, so what they did was started using those platforms to meet their friends, watch football matches, watch concerts, meet their idols, and this created an economy. Why? You're all dressed in a different way in this room, more or less. I can see a lot of Opens Lava shirts, but most of the people are dressed in a different way. Why? Because you want to identify yourself. It's identity. It's expression. And you can imagine that when you're a teenager, probably some of you were rockers or dark punk or goth. Obviously, it's the age when you want to express what you believe in. So they started buying a lot of digital items and a lot of digital clothes, way more than the real clothes in real life during that period. Obviously, we were in lockdown. So this started propelling a series of use cases and economy that is driving the core of the metaverse. We call the metaverse revolution the Internet of place and ownership. So the metaverse is an evolution of the internet. But let's analyze the 4 components of a place. So we have space and time, exchange, people, and things. And all of those components create what is a place, physical or even digital. Space and time is the arrow of time that goes in one direction into the future, right? We do not reverse things in real life, unfortunately. We cannot do it yet. So if I move one item to one place to the other, the person that comes after me will see that item where I put it, and so on. So the place always changes. People. Probably some of you had the experience of going into a bar or a club or a restaurant. Opening the door is empty. You close the door, you go somewhere else. If you want to be social, if you go out, if you want to meet people, if you want to have a chat, or even if you're going with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you want to be surrounded by people when you're outside. Not always, but it's something that you want to do, right? So people are crucial, especially when it comes to the social aspect of those places. Then exchange. Exchange is important because it's not just financial exchange. Of course, we go to places because we want to buy things. We want to do business, but we also go to exhibitions, museums, concerts. What kind of exchange do I get? Personal. It enriches my soul. It makes me happier. It teaches me something. That's also exchange. And things. Nobody wants to be in an empty room. Probably in a mental hospital you have to do that, but, it's not something that you want to do in real life. Things provide character to the places we are. Tells a story, right? And allow us to enjoy the place where we're going. All of those components are part of what the metaverse is. Now, if we do a double click, these are subcomponents of the stuff that we've seen before. Physical place and virtual place. The first 2 parts of this slide. Okay, from this side you have the form of the metaverse, so what the users see in the metaverse. And on the other side you have the function of the metaverse, so what the user can do in the metaverse. The first 2, physical and virtual place. A lot of people believe that the metaverse are virtual platforms, Roblox, Decentraland, Sandbox, and so on, Fortnite, and that's it. The biggest use case for the metaverse is allowing digital content, you better answer that, allowing digital content to enter the real world. The metaverse is a sponge-like tissue that allows digital content to bleed into our real life. Right now, we don't have something that is socially acceptable that we can use every day when we walk out, that we can wear to experience that. But we have mobile phones that are really, really capable augmented reality devices, so they're able to visualize digital content in front of us. In the future, in the near future, and probably some of you already seen what Meta is presenting as a mixed reality headset with the new Quest Pro, headset will become smaller and more socially acceptable. And digital content will enter our real life every day, exactly as smartphones are in our real life every day. So physical place, painting the world with data and digital content. Virtual place, completely fictional virtual places or digital twins of the real place. Spatial depth. Spatial depth is the attributes that distinguish the metaverse from the internet. The internet is 2D. The metaverse is immersive, 3D, and experiential. So 3D graphics is what distinguishes the metaverse from the actual internet. Creativity. At Accenture, we partner with Accenture Song, I'm from technology, along with our friends of strategy and consulting to create the Metaverse Continuum Business Group. Why? Because like with every digital transformation process, you never start with the technology. You have to start with an experience. You have to start solving a problem. So creativity is at the heart of the metaverse. The metaverse is experiential. So every person that goes to a specific place in the metaverse wants to have an experience that has to come from creativity. Especially because if you don't have an experience, why would you go to a place? If there's nothing to see, if there's nothing interesting, why would you go to a place in real life? Exactly the same rules apply to the metaverse. Identity and community. Identity is what we were talking about before. People want to express themselves. It's one of the main drivers of the economy of the metaverse. But also it's important to understand that not only people want to identify themselves, but also they want to express what they believe in. And identity is going to be crucial, especially from a technological standpoint with digital identity, to identify people that misbehave on those platforms. Because we need to create accountability for people that misbehave, that harass other users, that start spreading misinformation and stuff like this. It's important because we do want to avoid what happened with social networks in the past. Community. The metaverse is social. The metaverse is a place where a group of people with common interests go to exchange information, to play together, to learn new people that are like-minded, and so on. People go to Nike Land because they like sports. People go to Snoop Dogg Land because they like R&B or smoking weed. That's what they do, okay? So the community is at the heart of the social aspects of the metaverse. Virtual value, product, and market structures. This is the economy of the metaverse. The virtual value is provided by the digital scarcity. What is the digital scarcity? Digital scarcity is created by this new term that probably you heard, which is NFT, non-fungible token, which is no more no less than a smart contract. A transaction between one person to the other person without the need of a trust in between. Right now, if I send money, there's a bank between me and the person I'm sending the money to, and the person that receives the money needs to get the money from his own bank or her own bank, right? With NFT and blockchain technology, you remove that middle part, and people can transact with each other without having the trust in between. But not only this, it's possible to identify the uniqueness of a specific kind of asset and a specific kind of owner in an incorruptible way. So that digital asset, for the first time, is possible to identify that is yours, is only yours, is unique, and nobody else can have it. This creates unique pieces that make them scarce. That's why they rise in value, hence digital scarcity. And can be for the real world and the virtual world. So I can attach that NFT to a digital asset, or I can create what is called a digital twin, that you probably heard, of a real asset into an NFT. Why? For example, I can create a digital twin of a car so that that NFT of that car opens the car, starts the car, and when I sell the car, that NFT is enriched by the data of the car, how many kilometers that car drove, and the accidents, the spare parts that have been used to fix the car, and so on, so that the person that comes after me and wants to purchase that car from me will make an informed decision if that car is good or not. But not only this, and this is where the magic happens. How big is the market of second-hand cars and third-hand cars right now globally? And how much money do you think the car manufacturers are making from that kind of market? Not much. With this kind of technology, you can bring the royalties and the rights of percentage for every purchase indefinitely, forever. So second, third, fourth hand, fifth hand, and so on. The car manufacturer will always make money. Will get a cut of the transaction of that NFT that you're going to sell. You don't sell the car anymore. You sell the NFT that opens the car. And this is for an asset that is depreciating with time. Imagine something like real estate. So the products can be real products, can be virtual products. And the market structures, the economy of the metaverse is very interesting because it works in three ways. A top-down, bottom-up, and top-down, bottom-up. Let me explain quickly. The top-down is Gucci decides to drop an NFT of a Gucci bag into Roblox. $4,000, they sell it, it's a unique piece, it's a collectible. People kill each other to buy it. Top-down economy. The second one is bottom-up, creators economy. There are creators on platforms that are creating assets that are sold on the platform. They create the marketing around those assets on ancillary platforms that are used by Metaverse users to understand what's going on, that are not Metaverse platform, but are ancillary platform, like, for example, Discord, Telegram, Reddit, TikTok, and so on. They create a market for those items, and they sell it. There are kids that are making a lot of money. We have the country managing director of Saudi Arabia, Xavi, that has a kid that is 15 and is making a living and a killing with NFTs right now. And the last version, which is the top-down, bottom-up, which from my point of view is the most interesting one. So basically, imagine a brand like Coca-Cola. This is a real case study. Coca-Cola attached the rights to use their brand to an NFT. Obviously, it's covered by terms and conditions. You cannot use it for hate speech, for, misinformation, for violence, and so on. You can drop that NFT into a community and provide to the creators the rights to use the Coca-Cola brand to create anything they want. The creators started creating different items and started selling them on the platforms. Some people created a Coca-Cola club, some people created Coca-Cola digital clothing line, some other people created a yacht, branded Coca-Cola, and they started selling it on the platforms. And the interesting thing is that the people that buys those items eventually can inherit the use of the IP and those items and enrich them and sell them. And everybody that's added something to the chain will get a cut of the money. This has a very deep implication because for the first time in history of humanity, the possibilities of making a living of somebody are independent by the postcode of birth. So if I'm born in Cambodia or South America or England or Slovakia or Italy, I have exactly the same possibility of anybody else on the metaverse. If I have a good idea and I know how to market it, it's a service, it's a product or whatever, I can make good money. And portability and persistency. So the persistency is what we talked about before, which is something that exists, the arrow of time. Portability is bringing the assets from one platform to the other, which is something that doesn't exist yet. It's not possible to bring assets from one platform to the other, from Roblox to Decentraland and so on. But they're working on it right now. Why is the metaverse and not the metaverses? It's something that gives me the shivers every time I hear it. The metaverse is one because the internet is one. The metaverse is the internet. The metaverse is an evolution of the internet. The metaverse is an infrastructure, and the metaverse is deep. The metaverse is not just the top layer of the platforms that are used by the users. There's an authentication layer, there's the networking layer, there are so many layers that right now need improvement in order to create this moonshot vision of a widely interconnected world where millions of users at the same time can go from one platform to the other, transact, play, and work. A lot of innovation is needed across all of those different points, and that's why it's a huge opportunity. 800 billion by 2024, according by JP Morgan. And it's an opportunity for all of us in every single sector that is involved in this revolution. Now, this is a view of what's the metaverse today. Quick one. 10.7 billion worth of NFT sold in Q3 2021 alone. In the busiest shopping district in Milan, that is also one of the busiest in Europe, Corso Vittorio Emanuele, there are an average of 22 million visitors per year. Only Roblox, which is one platform, has 54 million daily active users per day. It's a lot of eyeballs, a lot of people. Now, maybe they're not be all in your target audience, but it's big numbers. And it's possible to create a lot of awareness about your products, your services, and what you do, thanks to these platforms. 200 million users are using Snapchat filters every day. A good amount of million of users are using it on Instagram and TikTok. Augmented reality is not an emerging technology anymore. It's pretty much in our everyday life. Millions of people, good for them, watched the Ariana Grande concert. Not exactly my kind of music, but it was an event. And $4,000 have been paid for a Gucci bag on Roblox, which is way higher than the price of a normal Gucci bag. Fashion victims. The metaverse is not Web3. And Web3 is not Web 3.0. Some people in our team say, no, we shouldn't say that, it's okay, you know, people can confuse this kind of stuff. No, we need to be clear. To understand something, we need the right terminology and the right definition. Web 3.0 is the definition of the semantic web that is driven by AI and personalization of content based on the user needs and profile. Web 3 is the definition of the decentralized internet operating on blockchain technology made in 2013 by the co-founder of Ethereum that you probably know. The metaverse is a series of interconnected worlds that allow millions of users to do different kind of things like work, play, and so on, and also allows the content to bleed into the real world and allows portability of content across the platform and persistency of content, as we said before. The metaverse can be built on Web3 technology. Web3 technology has been used to build the Sandbox and the Decentraland. The Sandbox and the Decentraland are Web3. Fortnite, Roblox, and Horizon Worlds, they're metaverse platforms, but they're not Web3. They're centralized. What it means? It means that they have a CEO. It means that they can change the rules whenever the board of directors decide to change the rules of the platforms, and so on. It also means that it cannot support some specific kind of use cases, like, for example, global cryptocurrency, NFTs. They have other kind of benefits, like, for example, they have their own intuitive and easy-to-use platform. They have their own in-game currency. They don't need to, you don't need to have a digital wallet and so on. But the interesting thing about these platforms is that they're not governed by a CEO. They're a decentralized autonomous organization. What it means? It means that the company is not driven by a board of directors. It's driven by a bunch of people that purchased X amount of land on that platform, and they have voting rights that is equal to the percentage of land that they purchase. So whenever there's something that needs to change, policy, governance, rules, technology, whatever it is, they vote, direct democracy, and they decide. Centralized metaverse, decentralized metaverse. Decentralized Web3, centralized metaverse platform. And as you can see on top, the metaverse can be accessible by any platform. Metaverse is not VR. Metaverse is not AR. Metaverse is 3D worlds and 3D content, okay? So it's important also when we talk to our friends, our clients, to let them understand you don't need glasses to do this. Most of the people, the majority of the people that are on those platforms are using video game console, PCs, and mobile phones. And it's going to be like that for a very long time, at least 10 years, I suppose. So why it matters for business? Here comes the nice and meaty part. It's possible to create presence in popular virtual spaces, like, for example, Roblox is doing. They created a land that is continuously living and evolving, and this is important because you need to create a calendar of events in order to keep it living, engaging, and get people to come back to your land all the time, where fans of sport, or fans of the brand can go. You can engage with the communities. This is the example of Coca-Cola. That's the Coca-Cola Club I was talking about before. So engaging with a community of creator in order to augment your brand. Create new product lines, completely new product lines that were not existing before. Like L'Oreal, they created a filter for a laptop camera that could be purchased in order to make you beautiful on video calls during the pandemic, without the need of makeup. Branded L'Oreal. Connect through experiences. We were talking about the Ariana Grande concert. Branded experiences. For a brand that is unsexy, like, for example, let's say a credit card or an insurer, how can you engage with the communities on the metaverse? Of course, you create a branded experience that is way more appealing for those communities. You do a concert, you do an event, you broadcast a sports event, you do a meet and greet with a personality, and so on. This is an example of the Fashion Week that has been sponsored by Dolce & Gabbana and Tommy Hilfiger. And education and productivity, which is what we are doing at Accenture at scale. At Accenture, we distributed 60,000 headsets, and we are using this technology for onboarding and training, and now also for productivity. We believe that this technology can be applicable to all the different parts of the value chain. And that's why we call the Accenture Metaverse Continuum Business Group. You can change how you interact with your customers, how you interact with your workforce, how you market your products, how you design your products, how you perform at work, and so on. It's not just consumer and it's not just digital platforms. Why this is important for the enterprise? This is the Eggerdale Cone of Learning, also known as Cone of Experience, that shows that we tend to remember only 10% of what we read after 2 weeks, 50% of what we hear and what we see. Like, for example, a YouTube video, which right now is the largest repository of knowledge in the world. 50% of the natural searches on YouTube are how-to videos. But up to 90% of what we say and what we do. Why? Because we are evolved primates, evolved chimps, that we were on the trees, and our brain has been hardwired by evolution to remember where is the closest source of food, where is the closest shelter, and so on. So learning by doing is extremely important. And this is one of the advantages, only one of the advantages of the metaverse applied to the enterprise. You can save a lot of money, you don't need training facilities, you can create impossible scenario. You can get objective insights. You can collaborate. Imagine how important it is for a manufacturing client to know exactly how proficient is their workforce in order to plan their production line. How can you get objective insights all at the same time while doing training at scale to all of your workforce to decide when to start the production of a production line? How can you improve safety at work? That's why it's so important. And we are doing this at scale across all the different parts of the employee experience for all of our clients, from recruitment, onboarding, collaboration, performance, learning, career development, and so on. We have 4 main flavors of this kind of training and learning in the Metaverse. The first one is practice dangerous and complex situations. This is a high-voltage cabinet training that also uses multi-user technology that has been made by our friend Attila, that is here in the room. Well done, Attila. Dexterity training. This is great for blue collars and companies that have large operations in the field. This is what we do at Accenture. This is an Accenture product. If you have an headset, you can download it. It's called Well Better Next. It's a soft skill training application. So dexterity, blue collar training, soft skill, white collar training. It's possible to do this kind of training with interaction of virtual human for presentation, call center training, diversity and inclusion, compliance, and so on. We built this on Tailspin. That is a platform that Accenture invested on. That is a no-code platform, so anybody can use it. You don't need any coding skills, and allows you to create this kind of experiences. We created the onboarding experience, the One Accenture Park. Probably you heard about it. And I have a very short video about it. If it's going. Audio?
The end floor.
Well, Paul, I love that you brought us to the cafe. This is beautiful.
Hey, do you guys want a group photo?
So this is the Sofia Antipolis lab. This is the next generation bank. And then over here on the farther left.
Welcome to Accenture Virtual Reality. This is Accenture bringing forth the power of human ingenuity and technology.
We've got over 30 locations or centers of excellence across the globe.
Welcome to our Talent Town Hall.
We're standing in Accenture's Metaverse right now. We call our Metaverse the nth floor.
Welcome you all to the launch of the RMD Code program.
I'll skip to the next slide quick because I have to close. I have only one other thing to show you, and then I'm done. Sorry for being late. So we distributed 60,000 assets, 24,000 to the new joiners, and 150,000 people went through that onboarding experience that we designed at Accenture. This was so successful that Microsoft came to us and said, we want to step up the game of the Metaverse for the enterprise. We want to create the next level platform for productivity. We will want you to be our main partner to test it first, design it with us, and then distribute it to our clients. And this is Microsoft Mesh and how we use it at Accenture.
Here we are, Jason, and your avatar looks awesome. Something that I really like is how freely you can move around and have face-to-face conversations.
That's exactly right. We've held more than 100 team gatherings in these immersive spaces where people can connect, learn, and collaborate because they're truly in the same place together.
The solution has been a game changer for onboarding about 100,000 people a year. And like many organizations, onboarding has been remote for the past 18 months. So bringing our new hires into this immersive environment fosters immediate and deeper connections. It transcends physical boundaries and helps individuals experience a culture in a very personal way. Our new hires meet many more people and grow their professional network much faster.
In IT, we're thrilled how easily we could unlock Mesh's capabilities through Teams. In fact, we're currently rolling it out on all of our computers and recently deployed 60,000 VR headsets. The integration with Microsoft 365 makes everything feel familiar. But on top of that, spatial audio makes everything sound just like it would in person. And I love seeing and hearing our colleagues collaborating and whiteboarding and using this space for productivity.
Thank you very much.